Join me as I dive deep into the teachings of Jesus and take on the challenge of uncovering the meanings that Christians often overlook. When we read the Bible, it's easy to get caught up in familiar stories and verses, but there are so many layers to Jesus' teachings that can be easily missed. In this video, we're going to explore 7 often overlooked meanings of Jesus' words and actions that can deepen our understanding of his message. These hidden gems can help us see Jesus and his teachings in a whole new light. By examining them, we can gain a more nuanced understanding of his message and how it applies to our lives today. Jesus was a master storyteller, and his parables are some of the most well-known and beloved stories in the Bible. But have you ever stopped to think about why he used parables in the first place? It's not just that he wanted to make his teachings more relatable and engaging. Parables were a way for Jesus to reveal deeper truths to those who were willing to listen. On the surface, his parables seem simple, but they often have complex and layered meanings that challenge our assumptions and force us to think differently. The context of Jesus' teachings is also crucial to understanding their meaning. He lived in a specific time and place, and his words were often in response to the cultural and historical context in which he lived. For example, when Jesus talked about the kingdom of God, he was speaking to people who were under Roman occupation and longing for a Messiah who would deliver them from oppression. Understanding this context can help us see Jesus' teachings in a new light and appreciate their relevance to our own lives. Jesus' teachings were often radical and countercultural, and his approach to love and forgiveness was no exception. He didn't just teach us to love our neighbors, he also taught us to love our enemies and to forgive those who have wronged us. This approach challenges our conventional views of justice and morality, and it can be difficult to put into practice. But Jesus didn't just teach us to do something. He also showed us how to do it by example. His teachings on love and forgiveness are some of the most well-known and widely misunderstood. The concept of the kingdom of God is central to Jesus' teachings, but it's often misunderstood. Jesus didn't just teach us that the kingdom of God is a future reality, he also taught us that it's a present reality that we can experience today. The kingdom of God is a way of living, a way of being in the world that is characterized by love, forgiveness, and compassion. When we live in accordance with the kingdom of God, we experience a sense of freedom and joy that is hard to find elsewhere. Jesus was known for hanging out with marginalized groups, and his relationships with them reflect his inclusive message. He didn't just preach about loving the outcasts, he also spent time with them, listened to their stories, and showed them compassion. This approach challenges our own assumptions about who is worthy of love and attention, and it forces us to think differently about how we treat others. Faith and works are often seen as separate things, but Jesus' teaching suggests that they're intimately connected. He didn't just teach us to believe in him, he also taught us to put our faith into action. This means that our faith isn't just about what we believe, it's also about how we live. When we put our faith into action, we experience a sense of purpose and fulfillment that is hard to find elsewhere. Suffering and sacrifice were a big part of Jesus' life and teachings, and they're also a big part of the Christian experience. Jesus didn't just teach us to suffer gladly, he also showed us how to suffer well. When we suffer, we have the opportunity to experience God's presence in a way that is hard to find elsewhere. And when we sacrifice for others, we experience a sense of joy and fulfillment that is hard to find elsewhere. So what can we take away from these often overlooked meanings of Jesus' words and actions? First, we can see that Jesus' teachings are more complex and layered than we often give them credit for. Second, we can see that Jesus' approach to love and forgiveness is radical and countercultural. And third, we can see that Jesus' teachings are not just about what we believe, they're also about how we live. As we wrap up this video, I want to encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments below. What are some other often overlooked meanings of Jesus' words and actions that you've come across? I'd love to hear about them. And if you're new here, consider subscribing to our channel for more content on faith and spirituality. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.